It's changed in a lot of ways. One of the main ways it's changed is the internet. Didn't have any internet when I opened my business. And another one, of course, is the grading services. And the collector market in general has changed a lot. People, kind of my age or older, everybody collected something when they were kids. And I collected coins and butterflies and rocks and all that sort of thing. And because, kids had hobbies. And so, then the younger generation, there's a lot of sports that they do, a lot of soccer on the weekends and that sort of thing. And, you used to see tons of kids at coin shows, and now on the weekends, they're doing sports. So those are some of the main things I think that's changed in the business. Most people are pretty quality conscious. They want to buy as high a grade of coins as they can. Sometimes they're not putting together collections, so to speak, of a certain type of coin. I see a lot of people that are just kind of buy a variety of coins. Type coins seem to be always a great collector interest because a collector can have a variety of coins, all different types, all different histories behind them. And so those are, I think, one of the things that a lot of collectors go for right now. Well, it gets back to getting more young people involved. I belong to the Iowa Numismatic Association and the Des Moines Coin Club, and when we have our shows, we are constantly struggling with getting young people involved in coin collecting. It's got to be fun at the end of the day. And if it's not fun, you're not going to keep a kid engaged in collecting. He's going to maybe collect for a little bit and then forget about it. I was recently in Chicago here at a sports collector show, and there were tons of kids and families there, and everybody was having a ball. And I'll guarantee you when the next show is in town, they're going to be back. So it's hard to keep people and kids engaged. The kids are the future of the business, like any other business. If they're not around and all the gray-haired people are done with the business, then what do we have? So, I think some of the bigger shows, like the A&A here, for example, and Central States shows, they really do a great job of trying to get kids involved, and they have activities for them at the show. But if the kid, when that activity is done at the show, and the kid goes out into the bourse room, there's not many coins that kid can buy. There's not many dealers here that have $10 coins. There's probably nobody does. And so it's it's a real hard situation because the dealer can't afford to have all these expenses for the week and sell $10 coins. At the same time, when the kid's done with this activity at the show, he can't go around and spend $100 or $500 at the show. So it's hard to keep them engaged at the shows to where they want to come back the next time. It's had an incredibly negative impact. When somebody's interested in doing something for fun and they get burned, they're done. And the counterfeiting thing and altered coins and so forth is just a problem that is growing. And so much of this stuff comes from overseas. They find their way to flea markets. They find their way to garage sales, to local farm auctions and that kind of thing. And unfortunately, there's people that buy them on the internet. They buy a coin that they think's a $2,000 coin, and they buy it for $500, and it's actually worthless. And unfortunately, there's a certain amount of people out there that will try to pawn that off on somebody else to try to get their money back and not represent it as being counterfeit, even though they know it is. And I think it's improving, but in the past it's been so hard to engage law enforcement like the FBI in tackling this issue because they didn't really understand numismatics. So in their mind, if somebody bought let's say a $20 gold piece that was counterfeit, well, it's just a $20 item. No, it's theoretically a $1,500 item. And so in the past, they've seen so much of that stuff coming in, but they didn't give it any credence because they didn't recognize the value. And I think that's where some of the major numismatic organizations have done a great job lately, is to get the FBI more involved in busting these guys. But with the internet, it's a massive undertaking. And like I say, it's definitely a negative impact on the business, because people aren't going to buy into a hobby, something they want to enjoy, if they're scared of it. That's the bottom line. So it's a tough one, and it's very bad for business. Okay, well, I've been a full-time dealer for about 40 years and a part-time dealer for several years before that. And when you travel to shows and travel with showcases, there's just a lot of problems with the older style case. And so I set out about 3.5 years ago to develop a new type of showcase, primarily to start with for coin dealers. Something that would be very portable, lightweight, would be easy to use. It would let more light into the cases, where the old style cases, they have the aluminum sides, and a lot of times the coins are on the edge of the case you can't see because of those aluminum sides. And there again, they're heavy, they're awkward to deal with, and they take up a lot of space in your car if you travel with a number of cases. So I come up with this idea. This is my Christal Clear Showcases, and as you can see, it lets light in from all sides. There's just as much light on the edge here as there is in the center, so you can see every item in your case. And the lids come up like this, and even though I'm on a chair though, but you can see that the lid will stay up by itself, which makes for great ease in setting up your display and working with customers. And as far as portability, the lids come off just like this, like that, and then you can stack the bottoms and the tops. They call that nesting. So we designed it so you can actually get 3 of these showcases in a bag like this. And you can either use the hand straps like so, and there's also a shoulder strap. So it depends on how far you want to go with your cases and how you want to handle them and so forth. And the bottoms are made of ABS, and the tops are made out of acrylic, and they also have an industrial strength laminate on the top of each case. So it's been a long time getting these developed, a lot of R&D, but we're starting to sell these to a lot of coin dealers. The dealers that have them absolutely love them, and we're starting to get into other markets as well. I just talked to a couple of gentlemen from India that want us to send them 20 showcases. So there's just so many markets for them: jewelry shows, knife shows, sports collector shows, watch shows, and stamp shows, and so forth. So I think this is going to be a really big market for us, and we look forward to see these everywhere.